we have to look, when we look at the numbers now about who is to blame for the current government shutdown, the fact that the numbers are not even more lopsided to me is a sign that it is media coverage that is not accurately reflecting, corporate media coverage not accurately reflecting what is going on. And Carl Bernstein, the longtime journalist, of course, of Woodward and Bernstein fame, working with their source Deep Throat around the Watergate scandal, longtime, incredibly well-known journalist Carl Bernstein said that it is time for mainstream, and I don't call it mainstream, but it is time for what is often called mainstream media to stop this false equivalency 50-50 game that is often played with political issues. I'm going to let you listen to what he had to say.
This is about media as well. These poll numbers are about a totally different media culture than we've had in the past. And as you see in that clip from Comedy Central, we need to start covering this story, not 50-50, this much on this side, that on the other. We need to cover it factually, because there are facts here that will show what this event is about and where, in fact, is this anger, hatred of Obama coming from? What is the root of this? And what you just did on the air with that quote from Eric Cantor, right. Every newspaper in America, the Wall Street Journal, ought to have it on the front page. People who are Republicans like Nicole ought to be saying all over the place, this is what it's about. It's about truth. It's about fact. It's about a wing in our party that has no interest in truth or governing or fact, and it's bringing the country down.
Okay. This is absolutely perfect. I've been talking about this literally for years, Lewis, which is that very often corporate media, in an effort to not be called biased or one-sided, will give essentially any absurd counterpoint to whatever issue is being discussed, the same kind of, they'll put it on the same platform as what might be the accurate or fact-based opinion. So for example, on climate change, very often you see the one person who believes humans do have an effect on the overall climate of the planet, and one person who says that humans don't have any effect. And it's kind of presented as this, well, it's a very controversial thing on the one hand, on the other hand, giving the impression that it is a 50-50 debate, when in fact it is not. And here, Carl Bernstein is saying that the exact same thing is being done with the government shutdown. You have one person on who says, hey, it's the Republicans who are responsible. And you have another person on who says, no, President Obama won't negotiate on something that, by the way, is a law, Obamacare. And hey, it's kind of 50-50. Everybody's to blame, when it is factually not the case here.
Right. And looking at it from the point of view of these media outlets, is this a business move? I mean, are they doing this because they think this keeps viewers on, keeps viewers watching, and doesn't infuriate the ones who realize what's going on enough to turn them off? I don't know.
I don't know if that's the calculation, or it's more that they want to be seen as unbiased, even though by playing the false equivalency, the false balance game, they actually are showing their bias, which is one against sensationalism, or rather not against sensationalism, against this one-sidedness of just pointing out when someone is simply to blame for something. And I always think of the sports example. Imagine if after a baseball game, for example, yesterday, unfortunately, the Boston Red Sox lost to the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Let's say after the game, we can look at the box score and see, oh, the Devil Rays scored more runs and therefore they won. Imagine if you turn on SportsCenter and they've got one expert saying the Rays played a great game, they won, what an incredible game. And you also have another so-called expert saying the Red Sox actually won this game. That walk-off home run at the end of the game, it was, that was not really what it seemed, and we really have the Red Sox winning this game. We would notice it as absurd, but for some reason, that doesn't happen when it comes to politics and this type of reporting. Even though one side may be completely unsubstantiated by fact, we still have to present the two sides. And I think this is one of the biggest problems with corporate media today.
Well, if only there was a score, David. If only there was a score that was set in stone where we could say, look, clearly the Democrats are ahead by 2 points. There's no disputing this, but there's not. It's all just people's own interpretation of it.
And that leaves us open to just absolutely horrible reporting from so many media outlets.